So we want to talk about different processes of a supply chain and how to view them. So obviously there's so many stuff happening in a supply chain, so many operations. It's a large network of things, information, and products that are flying around. But let's take a look at the entire system, entire network, entire supply chain in terms of push and pull operations. So, pull processes or operations are reactive. It means that we complete them in response to a customer order. So, we wait until a customer order comes in. Based on the order, we start doing some stuff. So, that's why it's reactive. We wait, see the action, and react. So, let's consider a production center. Let's go back to our example of producing sneakers. So instead of manufacturing sneakers and distributing them to retail stores, we wait and then see actually what kind of demand we have from the customers and then start the manufacturing based on the demand. Then actually this is part of pool processes. So example is Nike. Nike does have some customization for their shoes. So they let customers to go on the website, change the colors, change the design, and then based on the customer order, they initiate the production for that specific customization and build the product to the exact customer need. On the other hand, we have push processes. These are more in anticipation of customer orders. Again, Nike has push processes as well because their general sneakers are manufactured in many different colors and forms and ready for the customers to come and purchase from retail stores. So the ones that are not necessarily customizable. So basically what happens, they just do some demand forecasting and then manufacture based on that. It is an anticipation of future. What will future hold? What kind of orders will come come in the future? And then they manufacture, ship them to the retail stores and hope that customers actually come and purchase the products. So I want you to notice push and pull boundary as well. So in a supply chain, there might be a situation that some operations are happened in anticipation of future, but some operations are happening because of direct observance of the environment and customer needs. So there is a boundary in there. I want you to look at some examples. So LL Bean offers actually seasonal forecasts for different products they sell. They sell apparel for sports. So obviously there are some customers and they wait for they actually do manufacture. They have their warehouses and retail stores and they have their replenishments. So basically, there are some processes, there are push processes because they're in anticipation of customer order, but there are some pull processes. So not necessarily many customization is possible from LL Bean. So you have to go to a retail store and purchase whatever is available. That's it. You cannot customize. So just walking to the store and purchasing stuff in the retail store is pull process. But the rest from supplier to the manufacturer to the retail store All are push processes in anticipation of what's gonna happen um, in future. But in another example, if an Allen, which is customizable furniture, it's different. So usually they do not manufacture the entire furniture. They usually wait until customer walks in and then they make the furniture based on the order. The customer can customize the color, the texture, the material, and so on and so forth. So they do keep raw material of different kind, and that's the only piece of push process. And then they wait for the customer to walk in and then work with them in terms of design, texture, color, material, and so on. And then they manufacture and deliver. So most of the work is under pull processes because it is customizable. And in between, we have basically the boundary. So I want you to notice where is the boundary between push and pull processes. Here's a question for you. In this example, we have different kind of sandwiches. We have ready-made wrap. So you walk into a cafe, you don't have much option to customize your sandwich. There's some pre-wrapped sandwiches. You have to go grab one, leave. That's it. Where is push-pull boundary in this example? Is it buying raw materials for the business, preparing components, final assembly, or sell products? So where in between of these um, the boundary happens? Basically, which are push processes, which are pull processes. Signature sandwich. This one you can walk in and then order food as usual, and then they have the sandwich in their menu available for you, and then you can a little bit customize, not very much, but you can say, for example, I don't like onions, don't put onions on my sandwich, and so on. So then which one, which ones are pull processes, which ones are push processes, where's the boundary? And then the last one is one of a kind sandwich. Very customizable. Every single customer gets a unique sandwich if they order based on their own interest and they can order whatever they want. So it's just one of a kind. Then where is the push-pull boundaries in this example? So please think about it and then you can share your thoughts in Canvas. I want to cover microprocesses in every single supply chain. I'm sure that you heard about these in many different businesses. Supplier relationship management, internal supply chain management, and customer relationship management. So under every single supply chain for every single product, service, business, there are these macro processes. Um, let's start with customer relationship management. Obviously, every single business has a customer, has many customers, and they have to offer services after sales or during sales to these customers. So this is an interaction of the business with their customers, making sure that even after sales, they're happy. If they have any problem, they can come back to the business, ask for repair or other stuff. But also, this kind of relationship with customers help businesses to understand future demand. If they're happy customers, they might come back, purchase again from this company. If they're unhappy customers, then we might be losing customers. And also, we can feel the market, what's happening out there. So, this piece is also part of the supply chain. And then obviously internal supply chain management. There are so many things happening internally in any supply chain. We talked about them, different kind of processes, operations, manufacturing, supplier, distribution, and so on and so forth. So all these are within the supply chain, and obviously the goal is to make sure that cost is manageable and also we are responsive in offering final products and services to customers. And then we have our supplier relationship management. So if we don't have suppliers for raw materials and it can be different tiers of suppliers, then we cannot produce our product. We cannot have our service. So they are an important piece of the puzzle. We have to keep a successful relationship with the suppliers because over and over again, every single year, every single month, even maybe we are producing the product or we are offering production of new products. So we need those suppliers constantly, continuously. We have to keep a good relationship with them. And the entire SRM, Supplier Relationship Management, is about it. So it is part of the supply chain management as well. Here's an example we have. So we have W. Granger and McMaster-Carr. These are two supply chain leaders of basically maintenance, retailer maintenance parts, right? And businesses do purchase different kind of products from them in for their repairs or maintenance and so on. But they have very different supply chains. Even though their focus, their business is the same, but their supply chains are totally different. For example, Granger has several hundreds of physical stores in United States, um, but McMaster-Carr doesn't have any single retail store, almost entirely shipped to customer. Granger has 9 distribution centers. Uh, McMaster has 5 distribution centers. So basically, they're trying to have lower physical presence rather than being everywhere. And then Granger has orders placed via walk-ins, phone, or website. McMaster is famous for their speed in terms of delivery. Granger has omni-channel ship to customer or pick up at store, and also hundreds of thousands of SKUs, units of inventory, and so on. But McMaster do offer website in the purchases from online from their website, and also they have very deep catalog, so many different parts and pieces available for their customers, right? So again, there are so many different kind of supply chains. Not necessarily one is better than the other. Again, some businesses do focus on being responsive, being fast in terms of offering their products and services. Some are more focused on lowering their cost, even though it costs them the speed. If they are slower, but still they can offer better price for their customers, right? So we should be very mindful. And I want to ask you moving forward, look around you, find products and services that you're using daily, and think about their supply chains and think if they are trying to be cost efficient or if they are trying to be responsive. So it doesn't matter which of these two distributors uh, we consider because they are doing similar, they're offering similar service, but they are going through similar decisions as well. So again, in order to design their entire supply chain, they have to make some strategic decisions. Again, how many distribution centers to build, where to build them. Even if it is 9, it is 5, it is 10, 12, whatever. It's a strategic decision about the capacity of these centers, how big each center should be based on the market, right? And then how many units of products and inventory to carry in each location. How fast or slow we are moving and distributing things. What are the mode of transportation so that we can be fast or we can be slow but cost efficient. Decisions about inventory versus dropship. Are we keeping things in inventory and shipping them to the customers from the inventory, or is it a direct shipment to the customer, right? And there's so many other questions that every single distributor faces and needs to answer. So I do have a few questions for you from the topics that we covered. First, in your own words, what is the difference between a push process and a pull process? And I want you to give me a real world example for each one of them, maybe from the products that you're using in your life. Second question, at what point does the push-pull boundary occur in a Subway sandwich shop? So I'm sure that all of you know Subway sandwiches. So tell me, where is the boundary, push-pull processes boundary in Subway? And then match each microprocessor to its primary focus. What is the focus of CRM? What's the focus of ISCM? What's the focus of SRM? Please explain. And then why might a company want to move its push-pull boundary further downstream, meaning that closer to customers? So why some businesses have their push-pull processing boundaries closer to the customers, meaning that they do not offer customization, they do not offer much options for the customers. It's just what it is. Customer can walk in and purchase. Why? Why they're doing it? What are some risks and benefits of doing that? And also you can think about the other side. So why some businesses do push their pull push boundary upstream, closer to the manufacturing or supplier. Why they are doing it, what kind of benefit they get out of it, what kind of extra cost they get because of it, right? So think about these and you can find the answers to these questions in the next slide.